Hello DevOps friends, welcome to Full Stack Live. I'm Jochen, the Monospace mentor, and this is the Monospace Office Hour where I answer questions that come in either from our Discord or live here on chat. Hello Exegete, good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. I'm sorry about the music. I'm pretty sure I have a limiter on that audio source, and it shouldn't have been louder than usual, but maybe you never dropped in when music was pulled up during the standby screen. No idea, but I'll have a look later and make sure that it doesn't get too loud. Couldn't have been too loud though. I don't think I changed any settings there. I might speak just a little bit more gently. Yeah, so this is the office hour, which I don't prepare in advance because the program is programmed by you, the viewers, who may ask questions, and I will do my best to answer them. Questions about Linux system administration, about Ruby programming, about IT career in particular, or general software engineering questions. All this kind of stuff is perfectly okay here, and I'll do my best to use my experience, which are more than 3 decades now in IT, and so maybe I can be of help. I'd be very happy if I can. Other than that, it's almost the holidays, so maybe we'll simply make things a little bit more cozy. Isn't that nice? I'm afraid we won't have any snow here in Ireland for the weekend or for the time being. It'll be very wet, and so there's going to be a pretty rainy Christmas Eve, and I think Christmas Day won't be much different. So yeah, it is what it is. And it looks like the milk in my tea is also going over. Yeah, it's not gone totally, but yeah, there are a few flakes swimming in there. Tastes like stable, as my wife says. So yeah, how is everyone? This is going to be the last stream before the holidays, and I'll probably also not do any streams next week. I haven't decided 100% yet. I've planned a personal retreat for next week. Normally I book a hotel room or something like that for my personal retreats, which I try to do at least once or twice a year, simply to look back on the previous months and plan a little bit for the coming months, make decisions what I want to stop doing, things I want to start doing, or things I want to keep doing. And since my family is off to Peru until start of January, the house has a lot of peace and quiet, so I don't have to book a hotel room this time. I'll simply take some time, switch off all distractions, and spend a lot of time with my personal notes, I think. And yeah, I think doing streams will distract a little from that and will get me back into work mode, and I don't think that's conducive to doing a proper personal retreat. So yeah, it looks like the next live streams are going to be start of January, the first week of January. But if you want to stay in the loop when I'm going to do my streams, simply join our Discord and look at the events list on there, because they'll tell you when the next stream is going to be. I'll have to remove next week's streams if I actually decide to go through with that. Good morning, Praxis. How are you? Happy Friday. And if you like to keep the holiday spirit, you can use the snow command yourself. I'm experimenting a little bit with local stream automation using the Atom app, and so that is part the snow effect is part of that. All well, completing some onboarding documentation. That's good. That's good. That's a positive thing, and I hope you're having fun writing documentation. Put on some nice music that doesn't distract. Get a nice beverage, and right away. I would love to do that too. Maybe I'll do that later. It's still a workday after all. Looks as I scared Exegete away with this apparently too loud music. Hope we didn't knock him unconscious. So Praxis, what are your plans for today? If you still have some. My plans are doing a little bit of stuff. I haven't got any substantial plans anymore. I guess. When am I going to do groceries for Christmas? Yeah, I do have. I'll have to do some laundry myself. And wiping a Windows machine is a perfect thing to do. So satisfying. Oh, we haven't actually set up office hour mode, so let's do that. Feature chat. Quick draw! Hello, welcome. As I just said, or wrote, this is the Monospace Office Hour. I'm Jochen, the Monospace Mentor, and during my office hour, I answer questions. Mostly about the stuff that I can answer questions about, which is system administration, Ruby development, software engineering in general, IT career, advice, things like that. So if you have any questions, post them to chat. Maybe I'll pick a question that came up, not on my stream and not even on our Discord, but on Bithio's stream. And that's the question, how do I actually go about if I want to run a web server, say on a little Raspberry Pi that's running on my desk here, and I'd like to run a web server on that and make that web server available from the internet. So that's an interesting question that many of you probably can answer, but I'll answer that too and make it available to Bithio so he can reference that if the question comes up again. So let me switch to my board. Okay. And so the problem is we have our home. And here we have our server. And that server is running our website. I think the person said it's an Nginx web server, but it doesn't really matter. And then there's the internet. And the question is, how do they get here? How do they get from the net to the server in the home? And so the way this works is there's only one machine usually that is actually connected to both. And so I'll paint that in here. And that is your internet router, oftentimes provided by your internet service provider, or if you're so inclined, maybe something you installed yourself. And of course, that router can actually talk to your web server. It's probably the machine that gave your web server its internal IP address. So that's not a problem. But the problem is it's an internal IP address. And that IP address is not reachable from the internet. That would be catastrophic, probably, because then all our machines would be exposed to everything on the net. And we would need a lot more people like Praxeus to make sure that we are safe and secure. So how can we actually get our internal IP address on the net so someone outside could access that? Well, they need to access our router. The router is the only machine that has not only an internal IP address, but also an official internet IP address. Otherwise, he couldn't partake on the net. And so there is one thing that we need to make this address easier to reach. And that is called DDNS. DDNS is a service provided by many institutions on the net, and our router can actually talk to this DDNS service and keep it updated on our official internet address. That's necessary because the internet address might change. Our internet service provider might change the address, and so using this address directly could never work properly, because people would have to keep up to date on that address, and that simply isn't practical. What we can do, however, is keep the DDNS service up to date, and the DDNS service can then assign or associate our IP address with a host name. So maybe, for example, something like home.monospacementor.com. And that way, people on the net can use this DNS name, home.monospacementor.com, and will always talk to our router, because DDNS will always have the current IP address our router was assigned by our internet service provider. That's the first step. However, we don't want people to talk to our router. That's no use, and we want them to talk to the, say, Raspberry Pi web server. on our desk or under my bed. So in that case, we need another helper, and that is called port forwarding. By setting up a port forwarding on our router, we can tell the router, expect traffic to come in, thanks to DDNS, on your port 80. And yeah, I think it would be advisable to also use port 443 for encrypted HTTP traffic. Expect traffic to come in on these two ports, and if that's the case, forward this traffic to the IP address of the Raspberry Pi and also port 80 and 443. That way our router simply hands traffic through that comes in that is addressed to the HTTP ports of the router, and the router then just passes this traffic on to the Raspberry Pi. And the nice thing about port forwarding is that it also gets back the responses from our web server, from our little Raspi, and transmits them back to the person on the internet that sent the web requests in the first place. So to the visitor on the internet, it looks like they are talking to the router, but in fact, the router is simply the middleman and is actually facilitating web content to be served from the Raspberry Pi. And that way, it's possible to make a machine available from the outside, even if the machine doesn't even have a official IP address. If we only have a router with an official IP address, we can set things up with DDNS and port forwarding so that things work properly. Did I forget anything? Praxeus advised to instead use Tailscale to an AWS instance so you can rely on their security. That's definitely also an option. Maybe not the easiest to implement and maybe not the most secure, but possible nonetheless. So I hope that explanation helped and is going to help people who want to set up their own stuff. It's actually how I set up my home server services that I'd like to access from the internet, or that I'd like to be available from the internet. It's a little bit more complex because I'm also forwarding to different hosts, but yeah. Lil CZ over on YouTube, you made it! You actually made it live to the stream. That's great. Happy to have you. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a great Friday. Praxeus asked, what are the real differences between Nginx and Apache? That's an interesting question. I'm not going to go into the deepest of details here. I think that would not be helpful for the stream. But in general, I'd say there are more similarities and commonalities between the two than differences. I think it's generally accepted that Nginx is built a little bit more for high performance usage and is a little bit more versatile because it's also built to handle non-HTTP traffic. So if push comes to shove, you can actually use Nginx to, say, load balance arbitrary TCP traffic. You can even use, for example, you can use Nginx to load balance or switch between MySQL databases if you are so inclined. Not sure if that's the best options because there are MySQL proxies that are built for that particular purpose, but it's definitely possible. And that's something I wouldn't do with Apache. I don't think I'd even be able to do with Apache. Other than that, both web servers have lots of modules that are optional and can be enabled if your use case demands it. And they both can, for example, serve traffic to application servers running on the same machine. For example, the common setup nowadays, if you want to run a PHP-based web application, is to run PHP FPM, which is the application server, which runs just by itself, probably on your web server, usually on your web server, and simply put Nginx or Apache in front of it and have incoming traffic handed through to this application server. It's a little bit similar to the port forwarding that I described in my answer previously, but proxying is technically a different from port forwarding in many ways. It's can be more intelligent, let's say, let's put it this way, yeah, so in the case of our hosting platform that my business is running, for example, we use Apache to serve traffic from PHP application servers. And since we are specialized in running high-performance websites based on Drupal and WordPress, those are a lot of websites and a lot of PHP instances. However, our what we call edge routers, which are kind of load balancers in a way, those run Nginx because those have to deal with all our incoming traffic rather than the web server for a specific customer or a specific website. These edge routers distribute traffic between all these web servers and server clusters, so they are exposed to the internet and exposed to the whole traffic coming in, which is millions of requests every day. And Nginx actually is doing a great job dealing with this kind of traffic. Those machines also do what's called SSL termination, so they decrypt the incoming traffic, and that allows our application servers and the caching proxies that we also use to work with unencrypted traffic, with pure HTTP traffic, and the computational load is on our edge routers alone. And they are doing very well despite handling millions of HTTP requests per day. Oh, I just noticed your message, Quick Draw. Had a bunch of questions 20 minutes ago, but managed to bug fix and push my last commit for this year. Now it's vacation time. That's brilliant. Switching to holiday mode midstream here. That's brilliant. So I assume you are on my side of the pond here on continental Europe. And yeah, so that's brilliant. Welcome to the holidays, I guess. Actually, I'm not sure if my answer was what you were aiming at. If not, let me know. If it was, let me know too. Maybe there was something else you related to the real differences. Not sure what you had in mind. And since it's the holidays, since there aren't any questions at this time, how about we do some words on stream? I guess, yeah, we'll do that in a few minutes.
Hike the planet! Hike the planet!
Shut up and get in the car!
Hike the planet! Hike the planet! Hike the planet!
Here you go, Praxeus. Here's your Christmas subscription. Let's easy ask, okay, I'm really new to DevOps world. I come from a networking background, gave up after obtaining my CCNP, got an AWS SA, done a bit of Python, done a bit of Terraform, now on Git Basics. That sounds amazing. You're making good progress. Just trying to understand what is the difference between GitHub Actions and GitLab? Which should I learn? Oh, I would say they are, at least at the surface level, they are pretty much the same. They are both Git hosting services that host your Git repositories at a central location, where you and your team can access them. And they both have also added CI, which is the short for continuous integration. And that allows you to run tests or other automations every time you update your Git repositories. So GitLab and GitHub not only sound very similar, they are very similar. On the one side, they are called GitHub Actions, and on the other side, they are called GitLab CI. But that's both pretty much the same. You define via YAML files what is supposed to happen if you push changes to your centrally hosted Git repository. So for example, you could automate that every time someone pushes changes to your code to the repository, your test suite for that code is executed and the results are then displayed with the commits that the person made. So they'll get immediate feedback if they broke some tests, and that way they don't even have to run their tests locally. GitLab or GitHub will do that for them. Of course, that being said, I would recommend that people run tests locally first before they push any changes, because that then prevents pushing up broken code. You can also do the release process using these automations, using GitHub Actions or GitLab CI. So for example, if your tests are successful, you could also add a deployment phase where you say, okay, this is all right, so now I'm going to deploy this application to our production instance on Heroku or somewhere else where your application is running. We could upload it to some service on AWS or something like that. Or for example, if your application gets deployed using Docker, say for example in a Kubernetes cluster, then you can also say, okay, if the tests are successful, everything seems to be okay, then build a new image of my code and upload that image to a container registry, so it's available as a Docker image, and notify our Kubernetes hosting that there is a new image available, and have the Kubernetes cluster deploy that image. And that way your application gets rolled out in its latest incarnation. So that's both possible on GitHub Actions and GitLab CI. In that regard, they are very similar. So it's often just a matter of preference which one you choose. My company chose GitLab because at the time GitHub had a little bit of a bad reputation. I don't actually even remember what it was. There was some controversy, and we weren't too sure if we wanted to actually use and support GitHub. So we set up a shop on GitLab, and that worked well for us. However, GitHub is doing well as well, and I wouldn't have the same kind of doubts at this time. Yeah, so I can recommend both. Does that answer your question? I'm sorry. So to answer your question directly, which should I learn? It's up to you. Yes, you would. Yes, you would. I'm pretty sure that GitHub still has the upper hand in terms of users and customers. So betting on GitHub isn't a bad idea at all. If you learn to use GitHub Actions, you'll be able to do a lot of things, and the good thing is, since they are so similar, once you've grasped how these CI automations work and how to, say, model dependencies, for example, only deploy my code to production if it first passed our test suite. Once you've learned how to do these things, say with GitHub Actions, you'll be able to easily transfer that knowledge to GitLab CI as well. The syntax is different, The approach is a little bit different, but you'll be able to easily see past these slight differences and move competently between GitLab CI and GitHub Actions. And it's actually a good idea to focus on one of these and get really proficient with it, and only later then broaden your horizon to the other alternatives as well. What exactly do you mean to get started? I'm not sure what you're asking. Some labs, implement everything you've learned so far. What area are you looking at the moment? Are you looking for projects that you can then put on your GitHub profile? Just to have a little bit of proof of learning or even proof of expertise. The kind of project that you'll do there will definitely depend on what kind of job you're aiming at. Maybe you can give me a few more details, then I can be a little bit more focused with my answer. Trump, welcome. Good question. Let me read it. Yes, yeah. I think Nix is still too young to really be asked for in job profiles. I guess the whole notion of these immutable operating systems, and in case of Nix, also highly automated operating systems, is still quite new, so that perfectly explains why you don't see them mentioned in job ads. However, being familiar with one or two of these immutable operating systems is definitely something that's very useful. I'm myself a Fedora Silverblue user, and being more or less forced to find new ways to install software, say for example using container technology and things like that, definitely added a new skill set for me, and being able to maintain these systems is definitely a plus. These systems are more secure from my standpoint, And so being able to say, yeah, I can run one of the most secure operating systems for you, and I also do know how to deal with their limitations, which are the foundation of that added security. And I can deal with the added productivity that, say, a Nix configuration gives me, the portability and the maintainability. That's definitely something you can drop in an interview. And even though probably no one will ask for particularly familiarity with Nix, say, you can still make a case that you are up to date on the latest system administration approaches, to put it that way, if you know what I mean. Does that make sense? Oh, maybe I used the wrong term there in terms of more secure. What I mean is they are more robust. Since updates aren't immediately reflected in your running system, at least in terms of, say, the Fedora Silverblue and the immutable SUSE Linux, you can't just destroy your system by accidentally removing a package or by accidentally or by adding a package that then screws up everything. Even if you have a case like Linus Tech Tips had, when you uninstall a package and then that package takes everything, your whole UI with it, you will not notice that until you reboot. And if you reboot and notice that your system is completely broken, you can easily revert by booting into the old state of your operating system, and then think about what you've done and how to deal with that. In the simplest case, simply throwing away the update you did, and you're good. So in that case, the reliability of your system is better. Security is probably... Does that affect security as well? I don't think I'll be able to make that case. Yeah, so yeah, my terminology was a little bit off there. Thanks for asking. So thanks for allowing me to clarify that. Little Caesar asked for maybe some boot camp to build their portfolio. First DevOps job and stand out from the average first-timer applying for a junior role. That's a valid goal. DevOps is a huge space though. So I don't think there's even some kind of bootcamp that will teach you everything about DevOps. And if there was a bootcamp that made that claim, I would be very wary about that. You know, in that question, I'll go back to an answer I've given several times on this stream already, and that is, one way you can actually stand out is by making curiosity one of your core values. I might be biased in that way because that curiosity was what has driven me for more than 30 years now, it made me a lifelong learner, and I still am learning on a daily basis, sometimes the hard way, and I think that has paved the way to where I am now, where I'm very happy with my job and very happy with what I'm doing. Happy enough to do this stream and the whole monospace mentor business to pass on my experience and knowledge to other people, because I want other people to have the same great experience. And curiosity is something that will always help you increase your skills and expand your knowledge. And that way you can definitely stand out, because I'm pretty sure that other people will simply rely on, say, doing some kind of a course or a boot camp and imagine themselves now a DevOps person, which surely isn't the case, because regardless of what you'll learn in such a boot camp, it'll never be enough to cover everything that might be getting asked from you at a specific place. And if you're not curious and able to quickly adapt the knowledge that you need specifically for that job, you'll probably be beaten by other people who are more curious and can make a case that, see, in the past 6 months I learned this, I did this, I set up a home lab server where I did this, I connected it to the internet because Full Stack Live showed how to do that on their stream, and so I think that's definitely going to be a plus in interviews, and regardless of where you apply. Shrom said, yeah, you're right. I've been thinking, though, due to the packages pinning their dependencies, there should be more outdated libraries in use. Well, that only depends on how quick they rebuild packages and update these dependencies. And say, for example, Fedora is quite quick. The whole Fedora distribution landscape is known for making quick progress and adapting new things. They are not as bleeding edge as other distributions, like Arch, for example. But I think Fedora is a nice middle ground in terms of up-to-date software. And another argument here is that since these distributions foster different approaches to installing software, especially desktop software, I'm talking about FlatHub now, that allows software maintainers to decide for themselves how fast their upgrade pace is supposed to be. And so if you, as a Flatpak maintainer, want to release daily updates with updated dependencies, you can do so, because that's exactly what FlatHub and Flatpak as a packaging format was built for. And so it's not the distributions themselves that limit the or the technology itself that limits how up-to-date your software can be. It's simply up to the maintainers of that software. I'm not sure what philosophy the Nix maintainers have in that regard. I haven't substantially touched Nix yet. I installed it once on a VM and never touched that VM again, I think, simply because I forgot about it. I'm definitely curious, but on the other hand, at the moment, my drive to explore this isn't too great, because I'm so happy with Fedora Silverblue and the work that the team around Universal Blue is, which allows me to run a very up-to-date distribution with the latest NVIDIA drivers and everything that I can use, say, for streaming or for gaming. And so I'm pretty happy with that distribution. Not sure how Nix is doing in that regard in terms of updating their dependencies. Praxeus also advised networking in the space by offering to help new people is a great way to build a professional network for job hunting. Yep, that's true as well. So if you build relationships in the space, for example, on the Monospace Discord, which you can join on this URL, you can also make a case that you are in touch with a lot of people and sharing experience and learning from other people. which is also a good sign to people hiring, because of course you'll be part of a team, and making the impression that not only are you able to learn in a self-guided way, but also you are able to relate to people and find new solutions by sharing issues with each other and sharing solutions with each other. That's definitely also a plus that makes you much more employable. So to circle back on the dependency updates and things like that, maybe that's the advantage of running Fedora. I'm not sure, but I'm not particularly held back by Fedora. I don't think I ever thought, if only they would update this particular package, because my base installation is just about the foundation of my workstation here. So what I need is a Linux kernel that works and can work with the hardware that I'm using, and I need a desktop environment that is convenient for me to use, which in my case is simply GNOME. And apart from that, everything else is either running as Flatpak installations. And yes, there are some Flatpaks where I am happy to see updates. For example, there's a new terminal application called Prompt, which is only in development mode at the moment. I'm not even sure if they call it beta, but it's pretty interesting. And but it also has a lot of flaws that need to be ironed out yet. So I'm looking for updates on a daily basis there. But other than that, that's perfectly okay. And then my whole development environment on that machine is running in a Toolbox and DistroBox containers. And in those containers, since they are in one way isolated from the system, I can update as much as I want, either using the distribution packages or even compiling stuff myself if I need to be on the bleeding edge there. Knowing that if I screw something up by installing stuff by hand, I can, in the worst case, simply nuke and pave that container and start from scratch. So, yeah, dependencies are not on something that I think about much with Fedora Silverblue. And if a few of these things, say toolbox containers and stuff, don't tell you anything, feel free to ask about these as well. Praxis asked, do you prefer multiple VMs for specific tasks, configurations, or one omnibus workstation? Would you split out different development environments for different programming languages? That's a very practical question. Let's put that on screen. My approach in that regard is that for convenience's sake, most of the stuff that I'm running is not that compartmentalized. So for example, I have usually one toolbox container that I'm using for all the development and DevOps work that I do. So far, that hasn't bitten me yet. And I guess that's the criteria I apply here. If something bites me, then I'm going to isolate that. If I realize, okay, now I've painted myself in the corner with, say, Rust installs or anything else, then I know, okay, maybe it's a good idea to create a dedicated toolbox container for this particular project or for this particular programming language. Maybe in the future I'll have a toolbox container only for Ruby coding and another container for other programming languages, something like that. But at the moment, I err on the side of convenience, to be honest. Because the more you compartmentalize, the more maintenance you have to do. And then you realize, okay, now I have to maintain my NeoVim configuration in all of these containers. Previously I had one, and that was enough work. I try to keep these things as bundled up as possible, just for pure convenience. And if I run into a situation where that convenience bites me in the ass, then I'll start splitting stuff off. Augustine, hey, welcome to the stack. Greetings to Argentina. I guess it's pretty early in Argentina as well. It's already 3 in the afternoon here in Ireland. Thanks for asking a question. What do you recommend starting in DevOps? That's actually something that we talked about earlier. And DevOps itself is such a vague term that you might have to be more specific in your question to get a helpful answer. My previous, more general answer was be curious. Learn about stuff, learn things that fascinate you, learn things that are helpful for a specific project you're doing. Maybe simply pick a project that you'd like to do and let it guide you to the stuff that you need to learn. So that's my more general answer. And that probably applies to everything from DevOps to software engineering to management and landscaping. But it's definitely a valid answer, I think. You are a backend Java developer and want to change more into DevOps? Well, if you are a Java developer, a developer in general, then I guess it's a good idea to start getting more into system level stuff. Do things in the area of system administration, system automation, but I guess administration in general should be your first port of call. Maybe do the Linux administration master course. Which is free, because it's a self-guided course that you do with your own course material, but I and many other people on the Monospace Discord are there to help you when you run into issues. Simply stretch your antenna in the direction of system level stuff, operations stuff, because you are already a dev. And if you want to get into DevOps, you need to taste the ops side of things. And Balthazar is joining us as well. Welcome. Happy Friday to you, Cody. How are you? If you're unfamiliar, I'd encourage you to do a deep dive into profiling Java applications. Ooh, okay, that's an interesting advice. Use that as a jumping off point to understand what parts of the system could be changed to improve your application performance. Yeah, that'll get you into interesting questions quite quickly. Last day of work before break. Same. Almost done. Which also means that there won't be streams next week, because if I muster the discipline, I'll be doing my personal retreat. looking back on mostly the year, I guess, and looking forward to the next year, trying to decide what I want to stop doing, what I want to start doing, and what I want to keep doing. Hey, and Augustine, if you'd actually take a look at the course, make sure to get in touch on the Monospace Discord. There is something that's bothering me at the moment with the course, and that is that I see people signing up to the course on an almost daily basis, and then I never hear of them again. And I'm really not sure, because I don't hear of them, what the matter is. If they simply signed up because it's free and they never found the time to do anything, or if there is something in the course itself or in getting the course materials. I have no idea why everyone seems to be dropping off. Or it's something, if they simply expected something different than a self-guided course that requires them to work through course material. And if they expected maybe just to watch videos and be done with it. I have no idea, but a little bit of feedback would really be helpful. Balthazar writes, flying halfway across the continent to see family tomorrow for a whirlwind trip. Looking forward to, and not looking forward to that one. Yeah. That's the holidays for you anyway, isn't it? That's basically the way we used to do every Christmas for the last 10 years since we moved to Ireland. Fly back to Germany, meet a lot of family. In my case, trying to get out of the noise as quickly as possible. And trying to stay sane, but polite at the same time, and then fly back to Ireland and go back to work. So if I said that I'm saddened not to be able, or not to go to Germany this time of year, or this year, would be lying. I do miss my family, at least my direct family, and I'm well aware that I'll have to take every opportunity to see my 83-year-old dad as much as possible. But on the other hand, the whole hustle and bustle is really something I can live without. I'm really introvert that way. So yes, all the best for your travel and your stay during the holidays. Enjoy being with your family, being with loved ones, and make sure to get enough rest and peace and quiet to also recover a little bit before it's back to the rat race. Yeah, the retention problem is something that is really bothering me. I mean, if people would tell me, yeah, I expected you to have a lot of videos, and I'd go watch them, and then I have maybe I even get a certificate that I watched through hours of video, and that's it. Then I'd say, yeah, that's just not how this course works, and because I don't think that would do you any good. That's not the way I teach people. But not knowing what happens, that's really annoying. That's really nagging me. That's another problem with email. Many people just don't sign up for email, and that way I'm more or less prohibited by law to follow up with them. If they opt out of getting emails, then yeah, I might actually. I've been thinking about doing that over the next few days. Simply emailing a few select people and asking, "Hey, what's up?" I don't expect them to open a case against me on the basis of GDPR, but for example, I do have an automated email that gets sent out when people sign up. But since not all people even opt into getting email, they won't even get that single email. And yes, I am aware of that effect as well, because yeah, if I go through my email, I'll find at least 3 or 4 courses that I signed up for and never started. So that's definitely the case as well. But by now, I think, since I made the course free again 3 months ago, I had at least 10 to 20 people sign up, and seeing not one of them on the Discord server asking questions, that's really strange, because out of that group, there should at least be 1, 2, 3, 4 people trying to get started and make headway. It's really strange. Yeah, I'll try to get more insight into that particular issue, because yeah, otherwise that's not really a way to go about things. That's why I ask that people who sign up to the course give me feedback and let me know what the particular issue is. If it didn't meet your expectations, if you didn't find the time to do that, or if you've completely forgot to order the books and even get started. Things like that. Knowing where the particular pain points are do help me to offer an improved version of the course. Yeah, definitely. We all know that, don't we? Life happens. Life is also what has been getting in the way of me adding new video content to the course platform. So yeah, there are many chapters that could do with a video explanation and things like that. And I just didn't find the time to create them yet. However, I mean, the foundation of the course is simply you get the books, you work through the books, because the books are already designed as a course, and do the exercises, run into problems, and that's when I would expect people to pop up on the Monospace Discord and asking questions. But no dice. Discoverability is definitely something that I'll be thinking about next week when I make plans for the new year. Reaching more people is definitely something I always should aim at. But that's not this particular issue we're talking about at this point. If I have 20 people sign up and not a single one turns up in Discord, at least for these 20 people, discoverability wasn't the issue. Something else was, and so yeah. But you're right. Thinking about promoting the course and yeah, promoting the course in general will be on my mind next week. So one of the realizations I had and have had for quite some time is that creating a course and my long-term goal is, of course, to have my own course material. Writing that course material for a full Linux administration course will take me many months. And during that time, it's up to fate if people discover the existing course or not. So my part of my strategy going forward in the short term will be to create smaller packets of content, say talking about shell alone, similar to the videos I already created, I guess, and publishing those. Talking about a specific problem and publishing that, and then telling people that this particular piece of content is part of a larger course. So that will definitely be a cornerstone of my strategy in 2024. Getting smaller things out more quickly while still contributing to the larger project. And I agree, Prexius. Overly fast growth will be bad as well, because of my hands-on approach, where I say, okay, if you have any questions, pop into chat, and I will be there. Maybe someone else will be too, people like you. But well, the responsibility lies with me in the end. If I have 100 people doing the course at the same time and asking questions, that is going to be another interesting challenge. So maybe I will have, in that case, I probably would have to limit participation in the course to a specific amount of people, or maybe I'll simply add a paywall, at least a slight one. But that's a problem. That's probably nice to have, and I don't have that problem at the moment. And yes, I see that development in the Discord as well. It's slow, but it's definitely going in the right direction. And I prefer slow over going in the wrong direction. Because sometimes course corrections are really hard to do. And suddenly you find yourself with a kind of community that wasn't your goal in the first place. So I'm really happy that people like Balthazar, Praxeus, and many others are really adding value to the Discord. Duke1102, hello again! Good to have you. Hope you're having a great Friday. Yeah, that's basically the same approach we are taking at my company as well. We just sent out a newsletter which goes automatically because I published a blog post a few days ago where we told our customers, from tomorrow until January 8th, which is the Monday, if I'm correct, we'll be off. We'll do on-call, of course. We'll take care of incidents if they happen. And we'll do support for enterprise SLA customers. But everyone else will probably have to wait for January 8th until we are back for good, and we'll be able to answer the usual support tickets again. We'll simply take this opportunity to really take some time off and recharge.
Praxeus just redeemed RTFM.
Praxeus, my friend. Does this really have to be? There are so many amazing RFCs. Of course, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to redeem your RTFM. Let me take a look. Telnet subliminal message option. That's amazing. I didn't even know about this one. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Let's do this. So here is Praxeus's RTFM redeem, a dramatic reading of RFC 1097. Request for comments 1097. 1st of April 1989. Telnet subliminal message option. Status of this memo. This RFC specifies a standard for the Internet community. Hosts on the Internet that display subliminal messages within the Telnet protocol are expected to adopt and implement this standard. Distribution of this memo is unlimited. Command name and code, subliminal message 257. Command meanings. IAC will subliminal message. The sender of this command requests permission to or confirms that it will display subliminal messages. IAC won't subliminal message. The sender of this command refuses to display subliminal messages. IAC do subliminal message. The sender of this command requests that the receiver or grants the receiver permission to display subliminal messages. IAC don't subliminal message. The sender of this command demands that the receiver not display subliminal messages. IAC SB subliminal message 16-bit value string IAC SE. The sender specifies a message to be subliminally displayed by the remote host. If the client has agreed, via the standard will, won't, do, don't mechanism, to display subliminal messages, it must accept this sub-negotiation and attempt to display the message string on the user's console for the specified duration and continue to do so at fixed intervals until another subliminal message sub-negotiation is received. The position and rendering of the message is implementation dependent. The first 16-bit value specifies the duration of the message in milliseconds. It is sent most significant byte first. The second 16-bit value specifies the frequency with which the message is displayed. It represents the number of seconds between displays and is also sent most significant byte first. The final parameter is the message itself. We'll skip to section 4, motivation for the option. Frequently, the use of message of the day banners and newsletters is insufficient to convince stubborn users to upgrade to the latest version of Telnet. Some users will use the same outdated version for years. I ran across this problem trying to convince people to use the remote flow control Telnet option. These users need to be gently persuaded. Description and implementation notes. The quality of the client implementation will depend on its ability to display and erase text strings in small amounts of time. The current implementation at CMU takes into account terminal line speed, advanced video capabilities, and screen phosphor persistence when calculating how long to wait before erasing a message. While it is permitted for the client to display the message text in line, best results are obtained by printing the message at the top or side of console screen, where it will just catch the corner of the user's visual field. A version is currently under development at CMU to display the message using Morse code over the keyboard caps lock LED. And that was RFC 1097 in my dramatic reading. I hope you enjoyed. Welcome to the Stack channel. Thanks for following. I really appreciate it. Do growth Windows is so annoying. Some laptop tries to do that KB something update, but it always fails and rolls back. Google and forum posts aren't much help. Tried reinstalling Edge and did some other usual troubleshooting. I wish Windows would give you actual proper error messages and what went wrong. Shall I reinstall that device at some point soonish, maybe? Yeah, that's Windows life, I assume. That's the downside of operating systems, trying to hide everything behind the scenes, and if things go wrong, you have no clue what is actually going wrong and how to mitigate it. But I leave that field to people like Praxeus who have far more experience using Windows than I have. And from the experience of my recent two recent years, I'm not even sure if Linux desktop does break more often or has more things that break. Yes, there are things that break from time to time. I think, yeah, now I'm happy that I'm well versed with Linux system administration. I can find the issue and fix it, or even or maybe just replace the broken thing with something else. But it doesn't happen that often. And most of the time the breakage is simply in an application that I've installed and that isn't maybe that well maintained or something like that. So breakage has to be expected. I'm just asking myself if I would recommend Linux to the average person over Windows, and I think I would. Because I guess the average person would have to ask someone more experienced anyway. And finding someone who is actually able to debug Windows issues might be harder to do than actually finding a Linux nerd who can give you a few hints or something like that. Simply because things are more out in the open, and you might find a Reddit post or something that describes your actual problem. Wow, that's an error message. Oh dear. That looks like a problem with the package, doesn't it? And yeah, if the package is broken, I don't think there's a way to fix that. That's up to the package maintainer to fix. And yes, I see what you mean, Balthazar. If you are a more experimental person and try to install stuff just for the heck of it, and yeah, I mean, I'm the same. You can see the keyboard leaning against the shelf back there. So of course I install things like Bitwig and do things like that. I of course want to play World of Warcraft with my guild and things like that. And those are the things that tend to break. But to be honest, like graphics driver stuff and things breaking on Windows is also not unheard of, isn't it? No, Praxeus, go ahead and yeah, Duke, rub shoulders on Discord and try to debug that a little. And yeah, sometimes all we can do is actually wait for an updated package to come out. I had that specific issue with the prompt application. A few days ago, I read about prompt, a terminal application that is in development at the moment, and it's somehow more geared towards container-based workflows. So of course that piqued my interest, and I installed it from FlatHub. And I tried to start it, and I don't quite remember what happened. I think all I got was an empty window or something, and the preferences didn't appear as well. So yeah, that just didn't do anything. So yeah, I put it aside, switched back to my previous terminal emulation, and I think yesterday I installed a new Flatpak update of prompt, and now it's launching and preferences are working, and I had to I got to take a look at it. I also dropped it again because yes, the cursor doesn't really get rendered properly. It's just a faint change of color instead of being a real block cursor or something like that, and that of course makes it very hard to edit stuff in this kind of terminal. So there's some work that needs to go into prompt yet until it's really usable, but yeah, it's in development after all, so I don't begrudge them anything. And I'll keep updating it and keep testing it, and yeah, all I can do if I really want this particular application is wait until it's matured enough to be usable. And I mean, it's of course different if you really rely on that particular software, and if you need the update to happen, then it's hard to accept the fact that you might have to wait for another update. That's more annoying than just the itch of trying out new terminal applications. Yeah, I think that's a good point to not only promote our Discord, but also wrap things up. The office hour is we've been over by half an hour already. Not that I don't enjoy that. Maybe we'll round things off with a round of words on stream. How about that? And yeah, so let's see. I need to set this up again. Give me a second. Have to switch audio to. And I probably have to copy game URL again. Let's see. Can I reload this? No. Like they keep updating the source URL every time. Not sure why, but yeah. Okie dokie. You know the drill. Take a look at the letters and build as many words as you can. Names don't work, but everything else should. So let's get going. And yes, this is only going to work on Twitch because I'm logged into the game via Twitch. You simply post the words on chat. And once you've found a word, you are locked until we pass the next checkpoint. Wow. Balthazar boasting his Aztec knowledge. Right, tequila only works almost. Ooh, we're almost done. And far beyond the goal. Okay. Two more words. One more word. Well, we did smash this level. So let's go to the next. Green Raccoon, just take the letters and build words. They can't be names, and once you found one, you're locked until we pass the next checkpoint. Oh, yeah, that's 3 S's. One too many. Oh. You're really good with words, Balthazar. Sean, for example, won't work because it's a name. Yeah, you need to watch out if you're locked. Then you'll have to wait. So what I do is yeah, I'll type it into chat and wait with pressing enter until I pass the lock. As always, the other words that would have still be possible will always remain a miracle. I would love to see the solutions. Let's see how far we can get this. I was typing! is a mall? Is that what you turn into if you get mollified? Nice. Moil? No, you're just guessing. I guess that'll give us one or more levels up. Three levels. Well done, people. Let's keep going. Oh, why isn't that B and O? Then it would be Wendigo. Try again. Press this. What's going on? Hello, computer. You broke words and stream, I think. Oh, attention, there is a fake letter? What does that mean? Just to ignore that? Now I'm confused. No fair. No fair. Huh. Now I'm annoyed. Rage quitting here. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I need to get on with my stuff. We've almost made it 2 office hours instead of 1. So yeah, let's wrap things up for today, for the week, for the year. Now I realize I could have done some kind of a review of the week of the year at this occasion, but maybe we'll do that first time in the new year. But what about third office hour? Nope, you're not tricking me into doing another marathon stream like on Wednesday when I did 5.5 hours. That was really fun. And we didn't even do a Words on Stream game once during these 5.5 hours, so I must have really had a lot of energy. But yeah, there are a few things that I still need to prepare. I need to do some groceries and stuff so I don't starve over the weekend. The 24-hour stream. No, it's going to be a 12-hour stream. I am still intending to do a 12-hour stream in celebration of passing the 1,000 followers mark, which we did weeks ago. But I haven't found a particular time for that yet. But you know what? I'll make myself a note here and now. Where are my projects? Projects, monospace. I create a new section. 12-hour stream. And the first task in here is going to be schedule 12-hour stream. Due date is going to be the 6th of January. And by that time, we should actually know when I'm going to do that stream. And yeah. Valid question, Broxeus. Folks, to put my review of 2023 in a few sentences, I think it's been a good year. It was better than before. Well, that's a low bar, but I had a lot of fun. And on this stream, we grew a lot, not only in terms of followers, but also we built up the Discord. I actually got started with the Linux master course and things like that. So I look back on 2023 fondly, and I'm excited to see what 2024 is going to bring. I hope you're going to have a great time in the next few weeks. Enjoy your holidays. If you are with other people, with family, with friends, have a lot of fun. If you prefer some peace and quiet, go and recharge your batteries. And make sure to take care of yourself. Which I think in these days is really the most important thing. It's like in the plane. First, take care of yourself, and then look after the people around you. That's really important, especially in our industry. So, thanks for a lot of great streams. Thanks for a lot of fun hangouts on the Discord and chats over there as well. I'm looking forward to next year. And until then, take care.